What's up, everybody? What's up, creative community? Welcome back to the COACHMC studio. This is the place where we'll help actors, performers, entertainers, crazy creative hats to really shape unique, compelling, and very intriguing behavior deliveries to stand out in the audition room wherever that audition may take place or whatever you're auditioning for. Because in the end, I truly believe it's about communicating your cultural, creative, artistic baggage in the most remarkable way and really impact your audience, right? And therefore, flesh out what's most recognizable about you. That's our mission over here. And definitely it is with Open Class Doodles, because Open Class Doodles is a great opportunity to kind of look into these tactical doodles for success, how I like to call them, and kind of deconstruct what we have visualized there, what we're talking about. Also, truly pumped about today's episode. I think this is one of the most important episodes of them all. Give me one episode to rule them all. But before we start with the craziness, let me welcome everybody in the chat as well. And without any further ado, let's dive in today's very, very important topic: the risk of not risking. Let's see what's cooking. Yeah, that was quite I know, a very intense, very deep, but I think, yeah, I needed that little touch of drama to kind of emphasize the importance. So welcome everybody also on Facebook and Instagram. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to another Open Class Doodle. I think it's episode 23. I really have to kind of, take out of all this. It's a great opportunity once again to get also in touch with you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. It's a beautiful new day full of opportunities and challenges. So here we go. It's Open Class Doodles 22, right? My partner in crime. Lisa Buchholz, thanks for being here. I love craziness. My partner in crime just informed me that it's episode 22. Sounds nice. Sounds good enough to me. I mean, yeah, we're grinding a lot of episodes. We have Talks and Acting coming out with Stavros Patras, a Greek comedy performer, stand-up comedian, came out of a little village in Greece, and then now has his bookings in Rosita's on the show as well. Hit the like button, everybody. It's a great guy, very funny guy. We have him on Talks and Acting. Very inspiring, very motivational story, right? With those humble beginnings and background, kind of now being invited to the Laugh Comedy Factory, and making it out here. So watch out for that talk. Watch out for the next Open Class Doodle on Tuesday, where it's gonna be with my man Dragon Slayer commentaries. We're gonna talk about ancient ruins. Ancient ruins is Rosita is here as well. Thank you so much. So also, if you guys on Facebook, on Instagram happen to be in front of your desktop, you can also jump to the YouTube. I mean, just get the YouTube account. Get a YouTube account and follow us over here on YouTube as well. It's really worth the ride. We have so much more content, great videos for you performers, actors, entertainers, and we have our monthly masterclass coming up as well. A beautiful opportunity to kind of insert something new into our toolbox. At the uttermost, it's next masterclass. Like, registration is always for free. Remember that, monthly happening live on Zoom. Final Q&A, great opportunity. But next masterclass is one of the definite. It's like Thanos. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet in the Marvel franchise, and some people of you might not know what that is all about, but it's one of those super weapons. It's one of those great artifacts. Breakdown of the script analysis, kind of understanding the character through the eyes of the author a bit better is such a superpower, kind of to differentiate the good from the very good, and the very good from the great, and the great from the superb, subliminal, right? So of course there's always way for improvement, but it's definitely one of those things you don't want to miss out. Simona Santanocita, thank you so much for stopping by as well. Guys, it's I think really today is is a super, super important episode. And I want to hear your take on a lot of things that I'm about to disclose today. And I think it's also one of the most beautiful doodles. I mean, definitely we're gonna do. I'm not quite sure when, right? You just let me know also through your likes. But throughout this year, we're gonna collect a lot of doodles, and I create them for every show, right? These are my drawings. So at the end, we could, I don't know, like have like like just look at all these drawings and paintings and doodles, right? We could kind of establish which one is the winner, which is the best doodle, the one doodle, right? And we could make a little show out of that, and maybe also send the doodle out to a lucky winner. So let me know if you're interested in some sort of a flashback on kind of looking at all these doodles that we've collected throughout the shows. I guess like by when we hit like 50 shows or something, let's not anticipate, but 50 shows, I think that's like, of course, a lot of resources, but it should be 50 doodles. So 50 doodles is like, we can make a show out of it. Don't you agree? Yes. But today's doodle is probably the most beautiful one that I did, and probably also one of the most important. Because you know me, before we always start, right, with the nitty-gritty and with the drawing itself, let me just introduce you in this topic from an emotional standpoint, but also from a rational standpoint. And then we break it down. We see what are our processes and our operations, right? That involve this, the risk of not risking. Because behind this little, it's almost, it's what does this title mean? It's if you are avoiding the risk, you risk missing out on what life is all about, right? That is ultimately the meaning of this title. So that's the premise. It doesn't really matter if you're an actor, whatever you love to achieve, whatever your burning desire is. If you're not willing to take a risk, you're missing out on the opportunity here. I'm not saying you won't have success. But what is success? Of course, operating and controlling your instruments and having freedom of your choices, that's success for sure. But if you want to be happy with what you do, I'm not talking about complacent, but really happy about what you do and really loving what you do at a certain point, right? Not just executing. And then again, certainly, let me just play devil's advocate here, just for giving you a full disclosure type of introduction. Because I think it is important also to acknowledge the fact that everybody functions on a different level, right? Everybody has its own ways of decoding reality and working on themselves. What I'm proposing today is just a note. It's not even a sand core, right? It's a little grain of nothing where there is this little drawing that could inspire you to think about something, or to let it even, influence or infect you even more. And maybe it goes even deeper than that. And then maybe you kind of start picking it up and kind of implementing, and you see the results and you see that it works and you see what you get out of it. And then maybe you want to use more of it, however you might want to use it, right? This is just a thought of, hey, what about looking for greatness where I'm most afraid of, looking at in the first place? What about going to the uncharted territory first in order to become really, a master, and not always the eternal apprentice, the eternal promise, the eternal, oh yeah, he has great potential, but unfortunately, right, she or he never did it. Let me know if you know those people, because I certainly do. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this, because we know those people, right? Great potential, but somehow they always miss the spot. They never hit, the full center. They're always quite there, but then somehow they self-sabotage, or they kind of break down, or something happens to them. So this is just a thought on how you could jumpstart a set of ideas and a chain of production, of creativity. And that chain of creative production, you can let it, flow into whatever channel you like. But this is ultimately the essence of life, what we're talking about. And I'm having some big and beautiful quotes that I'm bringing with me in today's show, so I can back this all up, right? Because this is like big words, but I definitely thought it would be necessary to address the context a little bit, because it's truly one of those game changers. Is if you apply this thoroughly, things will change, definitely, and therefore you will discover way more potential that you have, and that you can use to finally express yourself more effectively, right? And kind of do what's necessary in order to get that result. And like I was saying, there are many different ways of thinking of that, right? There are many advocates of certain philosophies. What is it that you need in order to reach your results? What is it that you think that you must do in order to convince people of your value? What is it that you of course, you can be result driven. Sure, that's a great philosophy. I'm not saying this works for everybody, or this should be the testament, or this should be like, chiseled in stone for everyone. But it's just a thought. And maybe even if you are contrary to the idea that purpose is always important and a burning desire definitely helps. If you're just coming from that faculty that you think the result is the most imperative, it's the Polaris, and kind of we should subdue the actions in order to serve that Polaris, and not looking for the purpose. Because by reverse engineering the process, of course, if you look at something, you say, hey, this is the result, this is what I want to achieve. Okay, what are the actions that take me there? All right. And those actions, if I do them correctly, right, if I apply all this effectively, and of course I learn through my mistakes and then implement it and improve it, if I do this, then I will achieve that result. That will definitely fortify my belief, my purpose, my own self-esteem. So here I'm not starting from a process of thinking, hey, what is my purpose in life? What is my why? Hey, where's my why? I ordered my why. My why is not showing up. What should I do? All right, let's wait for that why, for that perfect alignment, for that great constellation that will finally tell me, now I can start. It's nonsense, right? Of course, the philosophy of looking at what is ultimately the result that drives you, and breaking that down into a reverse engineer type of process that you can manufacture with the help also of other people, for sure, is what drives us to believe that it works, because we will see the results before we see the actions, right? Before we actually see the results. So we are already solidifying our purpose, because we're doing it. We're implementing time, labor, passion. You guys are coming here together. Thanks for the likes, by the way. Thanks for showing up, and you're participating, right? So you're making this already a valuable endeavor for me. So I thank you, right? So even if the result is the first thing that you think at, nonetheless, once you break it down, if we're saying, all right, I'm not coming from a purpose-driven background, or this is not what drives me. Okay, so what is it? I see a certain result. I want to go for it. Okay. But still, you need to undertake some risks in order to get there. Whether you break it down mechanically, or you see this whole thing holistically and emotionally and magically, it doesn't matter, right? Whether it's left hemisphere or right hemisphere, it's still an action that you need to undertake. You still need to act upon certain things in order to move things into your favor. And that, at a certain point, will definitely cost you that decision making, where you need to make some risks. Whether that's for your acting, whether that's for your personal improvement, whether that's for your performance skills, whatever you have in mind, right? You have to risk something. And today, through this tactical doodle, we're going to break down what it ultimately is that we need to risk. Because I believe there are just 5 types of risks, actually. And everything else is just a manifestation of these 5 primordial risks that actually exist, right? They're actually less than that. In the end, it's always about love and fear. But if you want to rationally kind of point to a certain aspect, a certain element, and say, hey, this area is all about this, and that area is about something else. If you kind of want to, distinguish the areas a bit more granularly, therefore, yes, this type of investigation is exactly what you should be looking at right now, because today we're going to learn how risks are going to make us richer, both financially, but also humanly, right? Spiritually. And therefore, they're making this whole endeavor worth in the first place. So let's dive into it. I brought you this drawing here. And this is a little bit inspired of, of many things that I'm thinking, and when I'm looking also at myself and looking back a little bit at my own experience. And one of my favorite books of all time is Le Petit Prince. And I think it's just a magic to this, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. If you've never heard of this book or you don't know what I'm talking about, please make sure to check it out. It's a short read, but it changes your life a little bit if you just admit it. Of course, you could say this almost for every book, but no, you will immediately figure out what I'm talking about. This book just touches you on such a visceral, beautiful human level, such a core level where everything that it kind of is entrenched in wisdom without ever sounding cheesy or mundane or redundant, right? It's always a light form. It's like Calvin and Hobbes on an even more philosophical, holistical level. Even though Calvin and Hobbes is a great comic book, it's great art and also a lot of very beautiful human insights. But really, I look at Le Petit Prince and I think of myself in a bit. There's a certain reflection about this guy who just sits on his world and kind of looks around and is marveled, right, by the universe, by these wonders, by these incredible things that are just floating around in the sky. And when we're thinking of risk, right, the risk of not risking, what are we actually looking at? When we're talking of risk, what are we actually talking about? Well, if we stand here on our planet comfort, right? Because I believe comfort is the ultimate drug. It's the one obstacle that blocks us from everything, from achieving anything, right? It's more than anything, it's comfort that we should fight and conquer and dominate. Not fight. We should dominate comfort, right? Because it is the decision of certain versus uncertain. That is what bothers us, our reptilian center, our brain, our oldest system of deciding whether a new piece of information is threatening or intriguing. And that is super important to kind of convince our reptilian center, not convince it, just by exposing it without any filters to remarkable material. Our remarkable performance comes from analyzing scripture, literature, the text, authors, art that we see, a piece of contemporary architecture, old architecture, in the most filterless way, assessing what is certain and uncertain about that piece of painting, about that piece of architecture, about that sculpture. What is known and what is unknown. Remember when we talked about the hero's journey? What is it that the hero does? In acting, it's pretty much the same thing. If you are acting out of a comfort, out of a zone where you feel safe, out of a zone where everything is defined, where there is no problem going on, no conflict, then you're acting out of a mediocre spectrum of acting mass, right? It won't generate any big tension or any big interest, because people are not drawn to everyday stuff when they're looking at entertainment. They are drawn to the remarkable stuff. The remarkable piece of performance, the incredible and magnificent and mind-blowing performance, not the mediocre, average, and formless stuff that we get fed every day on a day-to-day basis. So the same thing is true for the warrior inside of the hero's journey as well. He comes from a place where he knows pretty much everything, and then he needs to challenge someone, or he needs to go into uncharted territory and find things out about himself in this land where he doesn't know anyone and he has almost no allies, and where he is completely new to the environment and exposed to all these challenges and obstacles, where he needs to reinvent himself in order to overcome them, in order to save the bride and come back by defeating the dragon into his home country as the victorious king, riding on the horse, right? So this is what the hero also needs to do in acting. So he needs to make some radical changes and needs to risk everything. So why is that a problem outside of acting? Mostly, and it is also a problem inside of acting. I'm going to tell you, a lot of students that I see and a lot of actors that I'm working with, they're, when they're approaching the text, again, this is something that we discuss a lot. They're coming from a place where everything is known and they don't want to leave that known zone, not so easily. And really great actors, they immediately, they can't wait to disclose the surprises. They know surprises are coming up. They can't wait because they want to finally feel alive. They want to come alive. They want to be honest. They want to react to that stuff. So you can spot the difference from a good to a very good to a great actor by the willingness of how much that actor is, of the willingness of how much the actor, is wants to unearth new stuff about himself, about the other character in the scene, about what he's saying, right? And trying to go into uncharted territory. You can see the level of greatness by the willingness to accept that type of challenge. And so therefore you should do this in life as well. There is this huge risk of not risking, because otherwise, where are you going to be? What you're going to do? So you are on this planet comfort, and there is certainty versus uncertainty. And now we're going to explore what are those 5 major factors of why we're not willing to risk something. Let's go into first and most interesting probably for a lot of us here tonight. Thank you so much for making it out. By the way, we have our career comet, right? Our asteroid, our career asteroid, right? And the risk here is, of course, like, what am I sacrificing, right, towards what am I achieving through maybe, changing my workplace? What does that, contain in itself? Like, should I opt for a new job challenge? Should I add a new skill to already what is required from me in order to grow? Should I, do this on my own as an own company? So career means really, most of our time that we spend during the week. So we should really know if 40, 50, 60 hours during a week, we like to do that thing, or if we rather do something else that means more to us, that gives us better results, that motivates us more granularly, that definitely, makes us feel happy about what we do, and more, like, okay, this is something that I definitely want to do more, right? So if we have that crossroad of how should we invest our time, it definitely should, it should be part of your motivation, answering this to, of course, maybe I should take a risk here. Maybe I should change this job to a lower paid job that has better prospects in the future. Maybe I'm trying to build up a new company that is new in this market, and they offer me equity and maybe less salary, but in the future this company could pop and be bought up, or it could explode on the stock market. Who knows? And I could get a big paycheck out of that. So I'm rather taking that risk but investing long term, and I'm also more happy about what I do because I'm way more invested in this mission than just doing my regular hours in a cubicle where I'm surrounded by people that I don't like, if we're talking about the corporate level here, right? So the risk is really just, what is the reverse engineer product here? Because if I'm not taking this risk, well, what is the result then? Well, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here in this comfortable zone. I'm going to continue what I'm doing. But this will of course, cost me all these opportunities. all these new territories, all these new challenges. Because in the end, it's about kind of improving that core product. This is our asteroid, it's our career asteroid. And here I have a beautiful quote. I love quotes, right? And for every asteroid today, for every aspect of, these, risks, these risks field, can we call them that way? Let me know if we can call them risk fields. We have a quote that helps, that is associated in my opinion. And we have Roger Waters from Pink Floyd saying, "I'm incredibly surprised by the lack of courage of fellow musicians to stick their heads out." And I think that's a very, very interesting quote, because in the end, it's like, this is how you get to stardom. Actually, that quote is a little bit moderate. the original quote, because I thought, but what the hell? I mean, we're bigots. So the original quote goes a little bit like this: "I'm monumentally surprised by how fucking scared my fellow musicians are to stick their heads out." This is the original quote. He doesn't seem surprised. He seemed very angry, or at least, baffled and very. And this is what I also tell to fellow younger actors. By the way, this is a great book. Oh, it's really good. No Ideas Final. Just quotes. Just beautiful. This is where I got this from. If you don't risk in your career, you will always stay in this comfortable position. You will never change. You will never dominate. You will, it's just a question of, is this really what you want to do? Kind of exchange your time against something that you basically don't like doing. And never forget, Matt Damon informs us here, success is the process itself. So it's that process of realizing, okay, I'm maybe stuck here. Maybe I got this problem. Yeah, sure. I'm in a work situation that doesn't really satisfy me at all. I make some money, everything functions, but I'm not truly happy, right? I'm not really there where I should be, I feel. But I'm on the other side, I'm also scared of changing because the paycheck as well. The paycheck is good, or, conditions are safe, and I feel like at least this is an income I can pay my mortgage off. Of course, I have some other obligations, money that I have to pay left and right, and maybe also life that I want to enjoy. So definitely understand all that. But in the end, again, the process of exactly figuring that transition out, that is already the success. It's like, okay, sure, I need to maybe cut down on costs, or maybe for a while take a second grind in order to kind of, bridge the money until I make more money out of my acting gig, or, see how that works out, or decreasing my regular job by the hours and kind of increasing my bookings and my networking, and kind of working out a way on how I can, swing the pendulum into the acting field from my other acting field. But that is already success. And once you figure it out, you're already there and you're doing it. So yes, it's risk, but no, it's not risk, because you know what you're capable of. Look at this guy. It's like, is this really a question? Is this, how many interviews I've heard with elderly people, also from people who made like near-death experiences, right? That said, in the end, I've realized, you should live your life as if it's your last day, because we basically don't know if you wake up tomorrow. So therefore, do bungee jumping, do crazy things, right? I mean, not as a habit, but if that's something that you have on your bucket list, then why not? Then do it. Make new experiences, right? Go out there and risk something. And if that means, of course, challenging also your working situation in order to really achieve what you'd love to achieve, and getting your career asteroid going, then do that. Just do it. I can tell you also from own experience, it's definitely something that feels weird once you have that safety, I know, but that weirdness is just an indicator, right? If you have the safety of a steady job and all that, to kind of switch back to the artist life, because how many times I switched from artist to orthodox lifestyle or workplace situation. Now, not anymore, thanks to God, but for this has been for at least 30 plus years part of my, like, okay, am I really an actor, or Or am I, someone who is very good at acting, but, still needs to figure out the structure. And so therefore he needs to kind of fall back into regular gigs and regular jobs. It's all normal. I think we all go through that phase. At a certain point, we figure it out and we make it happen. So don't worry, right? Just work on it and have fun in this process. It's like you don't want to live forever on this planet comfort. Yes, it looks good, it's nice, but hey, when it's about really like how do I want to invest my time? Reverse engineer the process. Once again, is it with boring stuff that really doesn't inspire you, that yes, works in a way, but really is not something that you like to do, and you're maybe not surrounded even by bad people. It's just the people don't interest you, right? In that type of work situation. Not necessarily they need to be jerks or anything. It could be just decent people that are not interesting to you, that are coming from a different cultural background. They're just on a completely different planet. And so therefore, if you have all these feelings, if you see that kind of happening in your life, then yes, I would definitely encourage you to take that risk and to not play it safe anymore. So that's the career asteroid. The second asteroid, risk asteroid that we have today that we look at, I like to make sound effects. Let me just give it a little bit. Again, we're in this beautiful universal map of our own existence, and we ask ourselves, and we look at these 5 asteroids, right? Career, financial, social, planet doom. Here, down here, look, we have even planet doom. It's down here. And health, mental and physical, right? We have those 5 very important fields of our life where we should, kind of ask ourselves, like, what is safe? What is risky? What should I do? Concerning my career, this is what I believe we should do. Sometimes, not sometimes, when we started just with the COACHMC studio, of course, in the beginning, it was a rather small project, right? It was not even intended to be the way it is. And sometimes it's also your gut feeling. I just saw this incredible TED Talk with, what's his name again? The guy from Serious Clothing. Sorry, guys. Serious Clothing. Brand. Magnus Walker, right. Magnus Walker from Serious Clothing. I'm sure everybody from the LA area is familiar with him. Punk culture. I mean, he's an incredible dude, right? And he said he actually got into these things. He just went with his gut feeling. There was an opportunity presenting himself. He was smart enough to kind of see it and perceive it as such. He was going with it, not always kind of asking immediately something back for it, or kind of figuring out the deeper sense and the meaning of why this is happening. He was just going with things and kind of building up his career on the go and learning through all these processes. And yes, he was, maybe you can say he was lucky, but again, I don't believe in luck. It's just that, oh, thank you so much, Sylvia. Thanks so much for joining. I don't believe in the concept of luck. I don't think there is such thing as luck. It's like Bob Edwards, the producer of, Love Story with Ryan O'Neal, beautiful movie. And he said, famously, also the producer of Chinatown with from Roman Polanski with Jack Nicholson, Faye Dunaway. And he said, there is preparation that meets opportunity. And then on the outside, for the uninformed, oh yeah, that's luck. Oh, look at him, he's lucky. Oh, look at her. She was so lucky getting that role. Oh, she was such a lucky girl of getting that casting. Oh yeah, she was on the phone on that day. Yeah, she was really... No, she wasn't. She was waiting for that call. She was making sure that she could hear that phone call wherever she was in her apartment. No, she wasn't lucky when she got back to the callback and to the director's session, because she was super prepared and was analyzing the script thoroughly, and she was there and psyched about the opportunity and very confident about her tools, because throughout her way of, growing up and investing in herself, right, she kind of gained that experience, that wisdom through that reflection. Is like, hey, I'm good. I'm in the right place. I'm in Hollywood. I'm getting considered for this role. This is how you book the role. It's not luck. Fortuna, how the Romans like to call them, right? It's one of the most important goddesses in the Roman pantheon. It was La Dea Fortuna. It's not her. She's not coming by coincidentally, accidentally, and giving you like sprinkle some stardust on top of your head, and then all of a sudden you get, acting gigs or great chances and opportunities in private. No, this comes from a preparation, and the preparation gives you the belief. And so therefore it's the opportunity that meets the right preparation, and all of a sudden, boom, things ignite. So take care of these 5 major, asteroid fields in your life. When you ask yourself, should I take that risk? Should I take that leap of faith? Should I invest in this project? Yes or no? When it's your career, when it's your financial risks that you are asking yourself, like, of course, if you invest conservatively, well, yeah, you're on the safe side of things, but you will accumulate low volume, right? The appreciation is just little. If you kind of and adjust your conservative type of investment to inflation over 10 years, there's not much left of what you initially invested, and what you get out is actually very low. So when you are taking some financial risks, when you're investing in ventures and stocks and crypto, whatever it is look at the what the conservative outcome would be, and then look at the higher risk that is, of course, higher reward, and then place yourself somewhere in the middle. Right? I don't like to swing the pendulum always so crass in one or the other direction, where we kind of have to always kind of be so polarized. Of course, we get conditioned by the system to think in polarized systems and ways, but that's actually not a wise way of doing things, right? So what is your number? Like, again, start with the result. What is it that you'd like to earn in 10 years from your investment? Okay, now some of that goes in a bit more higher risk assessments and assets, and you can gradually increase those over time once you see the results. And some you use them as hedge, against your risk taking and more conservative assets and commodities. And then you will get a nice, still decent profit out of it. So, but you need to take financial risks, because if you get educated about the monetary system, and by all means you should get educated about it, then you will learn that central banks are creating an inflation that will eat up your money. So therefore you need to diversify your liquidity in order to gain the most out of it over time. So here again, when it's about taking risks, financial risks, and analyzing and studying cycles, opportunities, getting informed, right? All that is like, you would of course argue against it and say, hey, I need some time for myself. I need some spare time in my life as well. I can't always study. Well, here's Brigitte Lacombe, right? And she said, guys, I'm either working or sleeping. So sleeping gets done when everything else gets done, right? So she was first working and then sleeping. If we're thinking about achieving greatness, if we really want to compete in a market of the 1.1%, if we really want to be somewhere where we get acknowledged for our talents and really show to a bigger audience what we're capable of, if we want to achieve greatness also in the digital world, in the digital space, right, you should either work or sleep for the next 10 years and do nothing else. Because it's true. Again, we started in 2014, and it took us 10 years to get to the point where we are now, right? We started with, kind of with audition prep for single monologues at a kitchen table. Now we have the YouTube channel, we have social media networks, we're part of the Round the Entertainment Table happening on Hypnotic's YouTube channel, Saturday Night Hypnosis, every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are part of the OG panel there. We are having great conversations with creators, with coaches, with actors all over the globe through our Talks on Acting show. By the way, like I said, I think we really nailed this one. We definitely kind of recorded a nice episode. So you want to stick your antennas out for it's coming up. Stavros, a very funny comedian, super person, a great inspiring story. Make sure to check out our next Talks on Acting show. And smash the like button, of course, for the value proposition. But in the end, when when we started this, it was just maybe a little bit like Magnus Walker was saying. It was just, hey, okay, this opportunity was shown up. I had my luggage of, my baggage, my acting baggage, my toolbox, my desperation, of course, for not kind of, achieving greatness in Italy in that moment, and being a bit broke and not really employed, and talking to myself in the bathroom for a half hour every day. So that was a very weird situation. I'm joking about the sad talks. It was for sure an hour, not a half hour. No, but seriously, in that moment, when that opportunity showed up, it's like, okay, And so what's the next step? Okay, we should print flyers. Okay, what should we do for printing flyers? Yeah, we should contact someone who is a graphic designer. Okay, do we have someone who can do this like for free almost? Yeah, a good friend. Okay, we called him. He made the flyers. Okay, with the flyers, we started, kind of making ourselves heard. And then we grabbed an acting academy, and we told her, look at this flyer. You like this? Oh, yeah, you got a program? Yes, we got a program. Oh, you want to come by as a guest speaker? Maybe we can hire you. Okay, that's what I did. That was the next step. What should we do for that? Yeah, prepare for the class, research, read material. This is where you get your motivation. It's constantly kind of improving and learning in the process and sticking with it no matter what. I'm either working or sleeping, like Brigitte Lacombe said. Of course, I know that's radical, but hey, if you really want to achieve 0.1%, of course, that's not everyone's goal here today, and it shouldn't be. I think that's a very high, very super ambitious goal, but in the end, we're already 0.1%, guys. We're living in an immense time, guys. Don't get fooled. Don't fall, and I mean this seriously. Don't fall for the rat's trap here. The system wants you to feel bad, right, about your existence. Oh, your carbon footprint. Oh, you're exhaling oxygen. Oh, no, don't do that. You're a bad person. Just keep the air for yourself for the rest of your life, right? Don't consume anything, right? Stay in your comfortable zone. Otherwise, you hurt someone else, and the planet is about to collapse. It's not true. And we're not a problem. We're part of the solution. We are the solution. If you look back, and this numbers say that. This is not a personal opinion. Look back. Like, this is the time where we have the easiest, the fastest access to any type of medication, to sanitation, to education in history of humankind. Is it perfect? No, we need internet structure all over the globe. We need better communication. We need better, of course, but planet Earth, in terms of its population, has never, gone through a more prosperous phase than today. These are billions of people. Of course, kind of putting them into a system that works without creating any collateral is absolutely impossible. It's ludicrous. And like, who are you? I mean, just go and do a better job. I'm not saying politics are angels, they are saints, and politicians are doing all just, God's work there. Of course, there are corrupt and nefarious and very dark entities. We know all that. That's all true. But in terms of, they want to let you believe that you are a virus, that you're a problem, that you're destructing this planet. It's absolutely nonsense. We are the solution. We are contributing with our energy. You know what it means when you are positively charged, when you're working for something that is important to you, when you meet people and you kind of, attract them into your mission, and you kind of entangle more and more people in what you do, and you spread out and you get acknowledged, and you finally you get paid and receive for that. And that cycle of life that you're igniting there, that workforce that you are releasing, that purpose tank that you are filling, this is the resonance the planet needs, and not some depressed, isolated, sad people that are frustrated and that are kind of whiplashing themselves like an Opus Dei member because they believe that they are the problem of this holy, so pure, immaculate planet. And nobody's perfect. Not even animals are perfect. Nature is not even perfect in itself. It's perfect because it's not perfect. So it's perfectly fine if you take risks, and if you don't take everything, as 100%, as what they presented to you in the media complexes, and also what they're surrogating you all the time, right? That, oh, no, don't look for power, don't look for self-esteem, right? Be formless, be part of the mass. It's okay to be mediocre, it's fine. You don't need ambition. No, that's not true. You need ambition. Otherwise, you will die internally. You will die. So taking risks is staying alive, nothing else. Yes, financial risks are definitely, when you do mistakes there, when you make mistakes there, yeah, they can cost you literally a lot. And this is what they need to do. Sometimes you need to realize also through that painful experience that, you have to kind of adjust the way of your spending, of your habits, of what you do with your money, of how you want to invest, of how you want to, kind of think long term, because it's show business, right? Wherever you, like Will Roberts likes to say. And even if you're not an actor, it doesn't, or in entertainment industry, it's the same thing, right? It's still a business. Your life is somehow also a business. Take care of that, invest wisely. And, Wayne Coyne said, part of doesn't really realize how cool it is to not give a fuck, right? If you take money and invest it wisely, to all people that are just flashing off some jewelry or some fancy cars and then are broke 5 years later, and they will laugh at you at first. It's like, yeah, you're investing your stuff, you believe in some projects, you're doing your research, you're just a creep, now enjoy life. Yeah, sure, okay. Let's talk about this in 5 years from now, when my investment finally comes into fruition and your wallet is empty and dry. If you don't follow up with your work, but you have burned all the cash in the meanwhile, stupid things just to impress people that you don't like in the first place and don't give a damn about you second of all, right? So that's not really the way you should do it. So again, ask yourself, what's your number? Diversify, hedge against some risk. Otherwise, look to tendons, your tendency should be to get educated on how you gradually accept more risk in the financial sector as well. Because you as a human being, if you ask yourself, hey, how can I be less risk averse, right? How can I, jump into more adventures? Like if you start to fix all these, single patterns and their meanings, you start kind of assembling that risk-worthy machine, right? Now, all of a sudden, you are enthralled by that idea of saying, what, this is great, because if I have to undergo a risk here, then probably the reward is very high, and therefore I might learn a lot of this experience. So therefore, I'm open more to it. It's not to say that you should take all the risks, and we're gonna analyze that, of course, as well, right? We're not talking about a polarity of the pendulum swing. We're talking about what is the right resonance for you. So Sylvia says, what would you recommend to people who want to start a creative career when being older than 40 years? It's very easy, Sylvia. Start creating. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you want a creative career, behave like a creator. A creator, how should a creator behave? He should create every day. What? Well, that's part of the process, figuring that out. What is it that you want to create? A painting, a performance, a showcase in dancing, whatever it is. And then you rehearse that and you get people to kind of, give you feedback, and you improve by taking classes. And once you do that, you talk to more people, you expand your network. It doesn't really matter how old you are. If you want a creative career, start being like a creator every day, like someone who's already, look at a high achiever in a creative field. What's his premise every day, right? Learn, reflect, observe, improve, execute, rest, observe, reflect, implement, improve, repeat and execute, rest, and so on and so forth, right? That's his mission. He's constantly focused on doing his uttermost beautiful work, right? And putting everything out there and kind of and reminding his muscle memory what he's there for. And so, yes, I definitely believe there is no age barrier. And this is not just to say, or this is not just to kind of philosophize, there is no age. There is literally no age. Like, there is the oldest marathon participant is 103 years old. I think the oldest DJ, she's 85 or 86. She's living in Tokyo, of course. There are many. There is a company, I'm not sure if they're still open to business, but for a long time, they've been very famous. It was in Oregon, in Portland. They used to hire only people older than 65. So achievements can always be achieved. There is no restriction to that. And I think you just have to become a poet of your own melody, right? Kind of reciting that melody more and more, and that will reinforce the belief, and the results will come. But I will also talk about this in a very important meeting in April that we're going to organize for you, which is the open class. It's the monthly masterclass, and you can register for free now. Just follow the link in the description, because we're going to talk about certain things that we're touching here. We're going to talk about as well when we're talking about the script analysis. It's really transforming the script into a magnificent, into a remarkable testament. and letting that information, how you break down the script, effectively affect and infect you, and kind of, energize you, and understanding that that is one of the biggest chunks of a really remarkable acting performance, right? If we start from good, how we can get to very good, how can we get to great, that remarkable performance comes from definitely analyzing and breaking down the script. So it's April 27th. I know there's still some time, but in the meanwhile, you could watch our old master classes that we have. They are not so old. They are happening on a monthly basis, and they contain super stuff, guys. So definitely, if you're up for the task, if you're starting with your acting career, if you are new to this program, if you think of kind of starting this acting side gig of, maybe you had this passion in high school, right? You started at school or in college, and you kind of dropped it over time, and then you want to come back to this old impulse, to that old passion of yours. Watch some of these masterclasses as a replay on our channel, the COACHMC Studio, and then register on Eventbrite for free. And why we're doing those for free, I will tell you, because we believe truly in kind of supporting this culture, because this is what our culture gives us back, is the resonance, the feedback, and talking with the young guns, but also with the seasoned actors and performers about these fundamental topics of our craft is just a privilege. Like, we wouldn't learn if we would stay here in our comfortable zone, right? This is exactly what I'm preaching today, with having that risk awareness and having maybe a lower threshold to, allowing yourself to take some risks in life. This is exactly what we're talking about. So it couldn't fit any better, because we're observers of our own madness as actors, right? Agents of transformation we are, on those wooden planks that describe the world and the universe in a perfect mirror. But the mirror is always ourselves, and therefore that's the beauty. It's that reflection that we need to undertake. No one else is doing this, right? It's a very peculiar job. Therefore, breaking down the scripts and breaking down the script effectively, understanding that mirror. What are you looking at here? What do these words actually mean? How they inform our system? What is happening inside of us truly, and how can we assess that? Are there actually instruments to assess what an impulse is, where an idea is coming from, and what the word is giving us in terms of resonance, of a signature here? Yes, they are, and we will talk about them on this beautiful occasion. So check out the replays, and this is exactly also the reason that will always be for free, because we truly believe in kind of giving something back to the culture. We're coming from the streets in a way, right? From those wooden planks, and again, also for us, it's an improvement and a beautiful opportunity to exchange it, to network, and to see what the current trends are. So for us, we feel immensely grateful for everybody who's stopping by. And if you want to know a little bit more about the studio and how we actually work, what the programs are, what the courses are, what everything is, kind of what we're doing over here, basically, it's readytoperform.com, right? Check out our new website. We just launched it. It's a completely refurbished website that has now the public speaking program containing, that was very requested over the years. Again, this is like Magnus Walker also says in the TED Talk, right? About taking risks and leaps of faith. When we started as the COACHMC Studio 2014, we never thought that we would actually, in the way we're doing now, like talking to all these performers and entertainers, and there was like the need also for people that were coming outside of the acting craft that told us, hey, can you help me to communicate with other people, right? I need to make a presentation, I need to sell a product, I need to kind of see if I can lead my team a bit more from an inspirational standpoint, not just from a logical standpoint, right? I want to lead my fellow colleagues also into the battle with glory, and not just with technical bullet points. Can you help me to kind of translate that necessity of mine into better communication? And this is how the public speaking program was born. And now we're part of this community of public speakers, of realtors, of agents, of people who need to sell and pitch products. And it's a complete new sector of entertainment. We regard it as such, and therefore we never thought in the beginning that this could actually happen. So again, when we're talking about risks, I feel like people want that perfect alignment. They have that perfect alignment syndrome in terms of, oh, I need this to be the perfect setup, and this needs to be fixed, and this needs to be done first in order to plunge myself into a risky situation. What other risky situations are there? The other risky situation is, of course, that when we expose ourselves to new information, to new topics, to working environments that are less common to us, of course the risk is there that we are not completely in control over the topics, over the information, and so there is social confrontation, right? So we get exposed and confronted with this new information and with these new topics, and this definitely kind of hits us in our comfort zone, because our brain likes to go the path of least resistance. Our brain likes to go, the neural vectors that are known, talk about the same stuff, go to the same place, eat the same things, right? The same food. Yes, there's some curiosity here and there, but usually our brain likes to go that path to save energy, basically. And so being confronted or having, the outlook of thinking, hey, my next business endeavor, the way I should perform my monologue, or, should I go into this, dangerous hike, or should I do this or that? If that is always, kind of conflicting also with the social economics, right? With the confrontation sometimes, kind of being exposed to new information and having to affront that, or kind of having to argue with people about, let's say you change your career, and therefore the people that you were around with a couple of months ago, they will all go, hey, why you're not in this company anymore? We don't see you around. Yeah, I got this new job. Why you got this new job? And you need to explain stuff, and maybe you get into a confrontation, into a controversy with someone, right? With a little argument. It's like, well, you did this. No, I told you stay where you are. It's such a beautiful job. Yeah, but I really didn't feel that happy about it, right? I'm enacting two persons at the same time during this open class doodles. I hope you acknowledge that by smashing the like button, right? No, but you get my drift, right? Sometimes you have to explain to your environment, explain to your social fellow, comrades, explain to your family. When you search out for new opportunities, these new challenges, you sometimes need to kind of, have the right arguments why you're doing this. And so this is part of one of the biggest syndromes that we have, is whether we have the perfect alignment syndrome, everything needs to be perfect. Before that, I don't even start to entertain the idea that I could undertake any type of risk or risky action. And the other one is, of course, the fear of being ridiculed, the fear of failure, the fear of what other people think of me, right? And that is, of course, a big denominator for all the people that are still in their comfort zone, are still living on their comfortable planet, is because they are, of course, afraid of what's happening. And so what's going on here is a very interesting psychological hack. So people are afraid of the potential unknown obstacles more than believing in the capacities of overcoming these potential obstacles in the first place. So they value the authority of the obstacle more than their own authority. And this is whether it's based on our reptilian center, again, because our, the oldest stem in our brain doesn't really like to go out of the cave. It's uncomfortable, right? We have also Plato's cave analogy that helps us to understand that, yeah, after the time of incubation and after the time of being fragile and weak, there must be also time when we start to realize that now we have to overcome those demons, that we need to step out of our certainty cave, right? And to kind of, face our shadows and our dark moments, because that moment will make us stronger. Nonetheless, the result, right? So that is definitely the necessity of any creator, especially when we're talking about actors. We need to face those dark periods. We need to be aware that those are, dark periods, dark moments, dark asteroids that are flying by in our universe. They are part of the landscape. There's darkness, there's light, there's good, and there's less good, right? So don't be afraid of that, right? It will happen whether you stay on the safe side or you go to the risky side. Failure is always around the corner. So what? Failure is nothing else than improvement, than learning, than getting a lesson. Yes, there is, again, loss aversion. You can call this psychological leverage, like being more afraid of what's coming than what you're having. That means, like, I'm not trading my safe job against this, risky transition. But hey, these challenges, again, they make us. So this comfort zone asteroid needs to be completely defeated in order to kind of, see yourself on the risky side of things, and therefore finally kind of, tapping into your biggest potential. Here we have a beautiful quote from Christoph Niemann. The most important difference between a person who is successful in art and a person who is not successful is how much frustration a person can take without losing their childish enthusiasm. I couldn't agree more. This is, also coming back to the spirit of today's session, where I talked in the intro, I talked about Le Petit Prince, and that in a way was a bit my guiding narration, my red thread on how to get out of the labyrinth of Daedalus on Crete, right? That this is what I perceive is the most important message is, as long as you keep your childish enthusiasm, as long as you keep that fire bundle alive, as long as your phoenix can rise, you don't have to worry about anything. It's all part of the process, nothing else, right? Don't worry. It's just that craziness of overvaluing the unknown over what you have, over what you can control, your instruments of art, of success, your craft, your belief, your friends, your networks, your possibility of changing things. If you overvalue the unknown more than the known, then of course you will always stay in that confined space. But that's self-confinement. That is absolutely crazy, right? That is like confining yourself to the space and not being able to break ever out. And this will get harder and harder and more difficult. And by the time you really need that skill, that risk-taking skill, it will be too late. So anticipate the action by understanding that's part of the process, that you can, there's a lot of frustration. Going in with arts, of course, there's a lot of frustration. Yes. But again, the suffering instructs us. Here, the risk of not risking means the risk of not living, the risk of not giving, and therefore the risk of not receiving. How do you want to approach a situation? Now we're talking about the 5 asteroids of risk today, but actually, in my belief, it's just 2. It's like, how do you approach a situation? Coming from a place of fear, coming back also to Le Petit Prince, or coming from a place of love and embracing generously whatever is presenting to yourself right now. Because all grown-ups were once children, but only few of them remember it. And no, I'm not saying kids, they know everything, they do everything right. No, it's not. The kid is the champion and we're stupid just because we're educated. Of course, the experience is important, that we accumulate the wisdom, the reflection, all that is super important, but never forget, don't take it too seriously. Always look at it also partially through the lens of a kid who wants to have fun. Da 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 da, pretty mama, just have fun. And now here is my secret, a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly, right? What is essential is invisible to the eye. This is from Le Petit Prince, mind you. All things that are essential are invisible to the eye. This is a trick of the devil, letting us believe that it doesn't exist, that goodness doesn't exist. Oh, it's the Lamborghini, you can see, you can smell, you can hear, you can drive. It's there, it's real. The spirit, the essence, the immaculate creative thought. Where is it? I can feel it, I can smell it, I can't drive it. So therefore, it's not true. It's a myth. Don't believe in myth. Believe in what's real, right? Matter. No. It's mind, spirit, belief over matter. You know what makes the art that beautiful, the art of risking something beautiful? That it doesn't really matter what's coming out. This is a good thought. Trying is the first step to failure, but failing at trying is worse. Absolutely. That's a beautiful sentence. Absolutely, Pat. Absolutely. Super deep. Nail in the coffin. Mic drop right there. Absolutely. I totally agree. 100%. That's great stuff. Thanks, Pat. Trying is the first step to failure, but failing at trying is way worse. Way, way worse. We need to, and that's the great thing about acting. That's why I feel like the reason why acting has become such an important skill, not only for actors, but like I said, for many agents of transformation out there, is the fact that actors learn a very crucial thing right away. And again, I highly invite you to I recommend you to stop by for the script breakdown masterclass, because there we're going to talk about this. It's when we read a script, when actors kind of analyze a screenplay, they look out for conflict. They look out for, okay, where's the conflict happening? Where can I kind of start this mess, right? They are eager to discover something that is unexpected, and most likely that comes out of a conflict, because we want to set off a chain reaction. And usually that's not the status quo out there. In the world, everybody wants to be educated and politically correct. So therefore, you're not really looking for conflict. But this is what actors do. This is why the acting program works so well also for non-actors. And also what we do with the public speaking program, this is basically part of our drama school education. Of course, a lot of my own experience and what I think, like what works better, this is just something that I figured out on set, but most of it is drama school. Most of it it's just plain beautiful acting fundamentals, and they work just like a charm. There's nothing that you need to improve about that, or trigger or tweet or have crazy thoughts, or kind of, it's just there. It's just analyzing what's there and bringing that out. What do we have? We have our tongue, we have our mind, we have our physicality. So inform those three centerpieces of your performance in a remarkable way, kind of get them the real juice, and you will see they will work wonders for you. That was really a great comment, Pat. So the risk of not risking means also to arrive at planet doom. And what is planet doom? We got it there. It's out there. It's the last planet of the solar system. Nobody wants to please. It's worse than Pluto. It's a satellite of Pluto, an unknown satellite of Pluto, very dark, cold planet. It's the planet of no growth. Because if you don't risk, you don't grow. Again, it's the planet of self-confinement, because if you say, no, I can't take that risk, so you confine yourself to your actual status. And if that status doesn't change, you just confine yourself to that existence and nothing else. You lower your career chances, as we experienced, and you will never be able to showcase what you're actually capable of. Never be part of innovation. You will never be part of a new dynamic, of a trend, something exciting, of a new market. Never discover a new challenge, a new market. And most likely also not being an inspiration for anyone, because like with Stavros today in our talks on acting that I recorded, just to give you a little peek, that was beautiful, because he's like, I didn't care what people thought of me. Of course, like this Greek guy from this village somewhere, and it's like, what is he doing in LA? And it's like, yeah, but I did it, and I'm making it, and people are coming to my shows, right? And that's super inspirational. Never, of course, undertaking an incredible risk of coming here and doing that and showing us. And this talk you will love it. Watch out for that. And most importantly, a life that is unfulfilled. I think if you interview again most of the old people, they will tell you, hey, you don't want to regret not doing something. At the end of your life, you don't want to regret that. That's eating you alive, right? That's not something you want to experience when you're old, to regret not having tried something that you felt was important to you, or that you felt was a burning desire. At least trying it. That means stagnation. If you're not taking risks, you're stagnating. Stagnation means the puddle of mud stinks. It stinks. You want your puddle of mud to stink, or should it be Or should it be fruitful and should it be fertile, right? You want it to be full of life and not stagnating. Water should run, it should flow, it should be clear, it should be sweet, right? If you're not risking anything, you're not excited. You're not excited about anything. You stay in your low vibrational state, which makes you more perceptive to illness, to sickness. We will talk about this, but also just perceptible for scams, for low vibrational people, right? Misery likes company. So am I saying again, oh yes, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, oh yeah, the coach has gone new age, everything is fine, smoke a gouloise, don't worry about life, everything will be taken care of as long as you take risks and you're stupid. No, that's not true. Hello, Miss, or hello, Friesdorf, freie Künstlerin, internationale freie Künstlerin, oh, Friesdorf, yeah, nice to have you here, thank you so much. No, this is not what I'm saying. Of course, if you are making financial choices, career choices, health choices, social confrontation choices, or environmental choices, right? These are our, most important factors of denominators of life. Of course, we should, look out for being wise and being pondered and taking much information and analyzing these cycles, analyze cycles, clearly and effectively, get other information in and be prudent, but not too prudent, right? Be pondered, but don't be stagnant. Be wise, but don't be, too safeguarded. Always try to find the middle. Because if Planet Doom means you are not relevant. Planet Doom, and in today's society, if you're not relevant as a creator, as an artist, as a performer, whatever you do, if you're not relevant, you're not existing. So therefore, Planet Doom means that we need to avoid that irrelevancy, if that is a word. We need to stay relatable. There is resonance that goes into taking risks that other people perceive. Believe me, that people recognize real. They recognize you're taking some risks, and there is meritocracy. There is. People recognize that, they award you for that, and they will keep you in consideration. Sorry for that. Look, it's regeneration, it's revolution, it's recovery, it's resonance, it's relevance, it's being relatable, right? It's, again, that concept. Frank Langella, great actor. Best recipe for failure? Try to please everybody. You set yourself up for failure. Let me also know in the chat what you think of this, if you can resonate with this. Also on Instagram and Facebook, thanks so much for stopping by again. Let me know, right, what you think of this. So again, I'm not saying we should all be kids and head into, no, of course, you want to ponder your decisions, you want to be prudent. But more than anything, yes, lean into the risk. When we do the things that we do, most of the times, the reason why we do them is because of a repetition, an automatism, a necessity, a faculty that needs to be just fulfilled. So most of the times we're doing stuff that we are forced to do anyways, right? And that are not really our decisions, our choices. So with those few moments left that we have in life to enjoy, guys, those few choices that we still can make on our own without too much influence, because we can never shut off influence. We are always manipulated. We are always influenced, because as long as we have those screens, right, we should turn these off for I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months at least, and kind of detoxify from all these overexposure to technology and screens and artificial light. What I'm doing right here, I'm sacrificing my immaculate spirit for you guys. No, but you know what I mean, right? So what is a clear decision? What is a pristine and crisp and immaculate thought that is not influenced? It doesn't exist. Even the Dalai Lama has influenced thoughts, because we're exposed to influences all the time. So of course I'm aware of that, but there is in all that a certain faculty of us to establish what's important, what's relevant, what we feel is true. We have a gut feeling. And if we have covered our gut feeling, and now we talk about the health asteroid and how important it is to to lower risks there, and to know exactly that a bad diet is a risk also to your decision making. I just watched this incredible documentary about this monk who claims not to eat that much during a day, basically just a little meal and nothing else. And it's like, but the reason was very surprising. He said, because it's a distraction. It distracts me from meditating. It distracts me from finding my essence. It distracts me from clear thoughts. It's not so much that it kind of, I don't care about being overweight or anything. I couldn't be it anyways with the monk diet that we have. But, a bad diet isn't necessarily like toxic food. It's just maybe you're thinking too much about it, right? I'm definitely thinking too much about food. I'm investing a lot of thought. I'm Italian. What do you want? I'm a chef. I love to cook, right? I love to spoil my wife, my partner in crime, and then she loves to spoil me back. So yeah, we think a lot about. But of course, we cook very healthy. We just work with healthy produce, or as healthy as it can get. Everything is bought fresh. There is no like our fridge is just fresh stuff. But you know what the risk is. Just reverse it. If I drink too much soda, I have too much sugar, I can't clearly think, I'm destabilized, right? If I do this, so try to kind of find a norm, a golden pocket ratio with yourself, where okay, maybe you have some, maybe you're smoking, whatever it is that you like to do. Just be aware that you have to balance that out. So your health, your mental and your physical, your physique, right? This is how you appear. This is how you come into the room. This is how you strike people. This is how you resonate. Your physique. If your skin has healthy tension, this is what we emanate. If your skin is fluffy, your posture is fluffy, your appearance is fluffy and low vibration, nobody's interested. Everything plays out nowadays. Again, we're surrounded by all these screens, so this is a way how to impact them. So make sure that you're not, your environment, your habits, that you're not taking risks there, that everything stays on the positive side. Thank you, Silver. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here is a quote by Paul Smith. I worry that today's younger generation is sort of living life as a business plan. It's all very predictable and very cliche, and not very spontaneous, because they're very self-conscious about how things should be. In the 60s, that was never that, because these young artists were just trying to explode of parents that had been repressed and go, come on, let's do it, whatever, we can do it, right? Take risks. Take the good risks. And I guess that's pretty much it for today's episode, guys. I don't want to make this too long, because I feel like there is a lot of content that we touched upon today. Oh yes, we need your vision for sure. But that's very funny. New visions, but visions come. These new visions, they come from taking that risk. Just if you stay always on your part of the horizon, you will never know what's on the other side. You will never have a new vision. So therefore, you should incorporate that for sure. Like this explorer here. We have this life of planet Earth. What have we, like, there is nothing really to lose. What is, well, you think money, that's a loss. We can recuperate, we can work. It's just an energy factor. It's you living this incredible low vibrational experience and being here on this planet and doing all these things. You can get up every day and decide what you do and just implement that. And yes, sometimes, we need to jump into darkness and take that leap of faith. But whether that's your financial side, your career, of course, your mental health and your physical health, or the social component, or of course also what you think is relevant in terms of, you know, your life, your skills, and everything that you get out of that, right? The experiences that we get throughout. These are the 5 asteroids, and they will lead us into a better universe, to a time portal of change, of new visions, of great excitement, of beautiful art, if we're willing sometimes to make that make change for ourselves and to take that leap of faith, to risk something, because the risk of not risking is the highest risk of them all. That is way more risky than trying something new, than being this explorer and coming out of that certainty, comfort planet. Happiness ultimately means just to control and staying curious. So if you can control your instruments and still be curious about the next day, I think you have it nailed. You have it there. You have the formula there. So don't ever give that up for any reason. Sometimes there are oscillations where our product doesn't get okay. It will get the recognition it deserves at the right spot, at the right time. Believe in that, because the universe is perfect, right? It's just our short-sighted way of looking at things that make us anxious about seeing results. But actually, the universe has a plan already. So let it grow through your constant work, through your investment, and you will see the opportunity will show up when you are prepared. And then it's about you taking that leap and just expecting greatness from the result and nothing else. So thank you so much, guys, for making today's episode happening. Open Class Doodle 22 is in the books. Watch out for next Tuesday, where we're going to have Dragon Slayer commentaries on the channel. We're going to talk about ancient ruins, right? Our geek sessions will not end. Quite the contrary. We will ramp up productions. Maybe Ryan from the Saturday Night Hypnosis panel, Brian Roger Athe, is going to join us as well. You can catch me there, of course, every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with Hypnotic's YouTube channel, Saturday Night Hypnosis, or you can register once you're here, just as a moment of appreciation at Eventbrite, because our next masterclass is going to happen. Good night, everybody. Hello and good night. Thank you so much, Brad. And this one, script analysis, is going to be a huge one. It's an unbelievably important field of work to kind of break the script down in an effective way. Just make sure to be part of that. And if you register, also show up. I always see such a disparity in people who have actually, kind of registered to the event and then they don't show up, right? It's such a great opportunity, seize that opportunity, read that, and kind of, a chance, you never know what comes out. If you register, stop by, definitely do that. And of course, you're very welcome, Katrin Meyer. Thank you back for stopping by. Thanks for your like, thanks for your appreciation, also to the Facebook and to the Instagram crowd. Thanks for the chat, for being here. Yes, I think we can sum it up like this. We're part of this incredible stream of energy, of life, of opportunities. We should seize them, have fun with them. And yes, it's the company that makes this whole process beautiful. It's not ultimately the mission that you will achieve. If you have the right company, if you resonate from a place of love, if you really have that burning desire for what you do and you feel accomplished through it, it's already success. You're controlling it. That's what makes you happy. And it's that ultimately it will never stop. The master becomes the apprentice and it becomes the master again. So the challenge is to travel from the known into the unknown, to make the unknown known, and then again travel from the known into the unknown and make the unknown known again. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So thank you so much, very friendly, beautiful, amazing people today. Hope you got the best out of it. See you also on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my next Open Class Doodle. We're also going to have White's Metal back on the channel, analyzing a song. You can, kind of tap into that session as well, where, two musicians, he's more of a musician than me, but I definitely, I paid my fair shares and my fair dues to the music world and entertainment world to that as well. And where we talk about songs, the importance of song structure, and what's also hidden inside of a song, motivations and all that, and what kind of perspective we're telling there. So that's definitely a beautiful opportunity to meet up again and being creative as well. Definitely don't miss out on that one. Visit our channel, readytoperform.com. Hit me up with a private message, with a DM, with an email. Let's set up a discovery session. Let's find out if we're a great match. If we are, let's start a creative adventure together. Whether that's something for your portfolio, whether that's your next big self-tape audition, whether that's something that you love to record like a theatrical monologue, or if you just want to generally think about your strategic, outlook, right? Like, what is it that you'd love to achieve in the next couple of years? Do you need like a strategy breakdown, a portfolio evaluation, like an audit of your material? Hit me up for that as well. I'm more than happy to explore all these new contents, all these new pockets of creativity. So see you with the next video, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. And now, yes, definitely, you're ready to perform. Thank you.